Yo, welcome back to the Audio Theory Podcast. If you're new to the channel, please hit the like button as well as the subscribe button. What's good, Danny? How have you been?
I've been great, dude. Great to see you. Last week of January. I know it's been 2 weeks since we recorded. Bro, I feel like every single week there's something crazy in the news. I feel like every January just kicks off with some crazy shit, bro. I just found out there's, again, shame on me, but I just found out there's some like bird flu epidemic happening, bro, because I've been to the supermarket twice in 2 weeks, and I'm like, bro, where the fuck are the eggs?
Yeah.
Right. And then I see like everyone talking about like, selling eggs on the side, and I'm like, what's going? And I just so happened to be like in the shower and the news was on, and I was like, oh, that's why there's no eggs. Did you know about this?
Yeah, I've known about it for I think it's been going on for a couple months now.
Okay.
Definitely at least a month.
At least a month, yeah. Because when I came back from Thailand, beginning of January, there was like no eggs, and I'm like, bro, what the fuck's happening? I thought like my Publix is just like slacking or some shit. Like I had no idea this like a bigger thing. Bro, we're really gonna get fucking slammed. Like, oh wow, this motherfucker didn't even know prices went up. Like, must be nice, Like,
right.
But yeah, bro, I had no idea. So that is crazy. And then apparently, we're recording this on January 27th, and I think like this is like one of the worst tech stock days in like the history of like the world. It's just like, bro, like, can we just have like a normal kickoff to the year, bro? Like,
I know. And then my sickness is coming back. I don't know if you're listening. Can you hear me choking on my own fucking phlegm? But I was doing fine a couple of weeks ago, and now it's back. Yeah, woke up this morning. All my stocks are in the red for today, just because of I guess China's AI, DeepSeek or whatever is taking over, or a threat to the US. So yeah, I'm just like, can I get a break, please?
Dude, but it's so funny how like our Asian AI is apparently not as good as their Asian AI. Now it's like, what's going on? Be better. It's like, bro, I don't know what's happening.
Right. Yeah. Someone had a pretty funny comment in one of the videos I was watching. It was like the Chinese in the United States are competing with the Chinese in China.
Oh man, but how's besides the sickness, unfortunately it came back, dude? But apparently, like that's also like a thing. Like, cause I saw like a cartoon on on the New Yorker that it was like, oh, you know that sniffling that you thought was nothing, it's something, right? I think everyone is kind of like, dude, my boss just called out today because she's dealing with something similar. So like, how are you feeling besides that?
Yeah, I mean, coincidentally, my boss called out for the next couple of days for the same reason. So, I mean, it's manageable. Obviously, it's not to the point where like
you're able to work out and stuff.
Serious. I've been able to work out. I did go to the doctor a couple weeks ago, and she basically told me like it might be mild pneumonia or some other thing, but she's like, you don't seem to have any serious symptoms. So she just told me to basically get over-the-counter medicine, and I did, and everything was pretty fine. And then I had a X-ray scheduled, but decided to not go because I'm like, if I feel fine, why waste time and money for that? But now it's kind of back, and it's been over a month at this point that I've had symptoms. So if things persist throughout the week, I might call in sick again and see what's up. So it's weird, and it's annoying because it's not something I can really pinpoint. So it doesn't seem like anyone else can pinpoint it either. So I just want it to go away.
Yeah. I obviously only because like I have like a Caribbean grandmother who has like the most amazing home remedies. Is there anything like that your family's like, hey, try this and you'll be able to like be better in a couple of days?
Not really. Besides just like the medication that I could have like looked up on Google. Like I have phlegm issues. What medicine?
Robitussin.
Like very.
All right, I'm gonna send you this thing, man. Again, if you have time tomorrow or whatever to go to the grocery store, because like my grandma swears by it, and I think other people have caught on to this, that like people are actually like, there's like is it DIY shit? Do it yourself. Yeah, DIY stuff on like TikTok of like the same thing. So like clearly someone's like profiting off this. So I'll send it to you, bro. It's like essentially honey, red onions, garlic, and you just drain it, and then it's like the liquid remaining. And like, dude, when I visit my grandma, like I could be perfectly fine and I still have a teaspoon before I leave. Like it's just like a mandatory thing. So
Nice.
maybe that'll help you as like a home little remedy to like to at least like ease your throat and stuff. Pause.
Okay. Yeah, I'm done to try that.
Cool, bro. Well, let's get into it, bro. I know it's been a couple weeks to recorded. This is now going to be episode 201. Episode 200's up everywhere. Our podcast can be found. I mean, again, we didn't talk about this last week because it kind of happened like while in the midst of it. So I guess it makes sense to finally address the Drake lawsuit to UMG. Right? He dropped the petition and now he's officially suing them. Jump in if I'm incorrect. But he's not suing Kendrick at all. But he is suing UMG for the way that they were promoting Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us and boosting that with the end goal of diminishing his notoriety. So when it was up to re-up his deal, they would have a case, no pun intended, to not have to give him a larger bag. Is that pretty much the essence of it?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay, so your idea, so we don't have to get into it. We're not lawyers, right? We don't pretend to be on TV. But what are your thoughts on the idea of now it's a lawsuit and him suing his record label because of a beef that some could say that he started?
Yeah. Personally, I know there's people have been alluding to Drake making poor decisions throughout this entire beef, but I think for the first time ever, it seems like unanimously, including myself, people are like genuinely losing respect for him, because in the context of just rap beef, like it's a cardinal rule to handle it like a man, or in this case a rapper, and either take the L gracefully and move on, or just keep responding with better music. And it seems like he did unfortunately lean into the image that people have tried to box him into, which is being like soft or sensitive. And I understand the accusations that weren't even technically directly mentioned, but also implied. I get that those accusations are pretty extreme, but at the same time, one, I still don't think the average person genuinely believes Drake is that predator. He's financially fine, and his career is still liable was liable to do fine up until this point. And it seems like he's just crashing out, really. You know, he's decided that, I guess, hip hop as a whole isn't fucking with him, and he wants to just burn the house down. And he knows he's gonna be good, you know, making Afro beats or R&B in the UK, or hanging out with streamers, whatever the case is, because he's that big of a brand and entity. So I think overall it seems like he's making poor decisions over and over, and I don't see how he also feels he's in the right to do this when technically he said inflammatory things to Kendrick and alluded to this being like a talking point that Kendrick should probably approach him with. So to me, it's all like very hypocritical and odd. Some would say there's, you know, theories on why he's really doing it. It's not about Kendrick, it's about the label, but we don't have any proof of that. So I don't want to entertain that unless it's fact.
But then I guess the counterpoint though to that exact conversation, wouldn't the fact that he's suing the label make it fact? That he's like, if he was suing Kendrick Lamar and the TDE team and all that, like, isn't the fact that he's only suing UMG? And I guess, is it Spotify or is it just UMG?
I think it's just UMG.
Okay, so the fact that he's only suing the record label, wouldn't that imply that, like, yes, obviously this is still in the context of the beef, but he's not suing Kendrick for defamation. He's not suing Kendrick for threatening his life. He's not suing Kendrick for, you know, making his son feel unsafe at school or some shit. He's suing the record label and only the record label. But then obviously it's a part of the case, but it's not like Kendrick Lamar is going to be staying on the, you know, on the stand saying, you know, why'd you do this kind of a thing.
I just don't get that angle in the first place. Like, what? I mean, UMG is a huge entity, first of all, and I feel like he obviously the obvious choice to sue would be Kendrick in this case, but I feel like part of why he didn't go that route is one, it would look way worse, even though UMG already looks bad, and then two, I feel like he doesn't really have a case with that because he did say
Because he said wild shit too.
yeah wild shit. So I feel like with UMG the angle is with them is more so okay, we both said crazy shit, but you were shady and kind of like supported him more in the beef by um distributing XYZ in a favorable way to get his song out there more. Maybe suing the label will also scare them into not allowing Not Like Us being played at the Super Bowl. Regardless of what it is, I feel like at the end of the day, Drake's not doing it because he really wants or needs the money. I think he's trying to make a power play, which is fine. Like if you have that power to do such a thing, but I think it's just proving that it's not really about being the greatest. You just want to be the most powerful. Like you want to establish dominance. You're not trying to have a legacy of being the greatest ever. You just want to shit on people, basically.
So you don't think there's any like weight in the idea that he's doing this for like, because he brought up the Michael Jacksons of the world, the whoever's who like the Taylor Swifts, right? When these big artists go up against these machines that help them become these huge artists, but at some point there's friction. And like, like the idea of like standing up to the machine and saying, you know what? Fuck you, right? I may have profited from you in the past. I understand that me being in this position is probably in some part to you or large part. However, I am this big, and like you guys didn't treat me this big in this situation when I probably needed you the most. So fuck you, right? So I think about like a sports team, bro. Like if again you and I are in the same basketball team, I've been the star player for the last 10 years. You're the new guy on the block killing it. So now like you're not giving me minutes. I can't play anymore, like because my contract. You know what I mean? I can see how there's a story there where it's like, bro, this feels shitty because you probably did this for me in the past to my benefit. But if we're living in the current moment, this is bullshit, and my contract's up and now you're going to use this against me. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I feel like two things could be true. It could be a pussy move, right? Because I agree with that, right? It looks pussy. But then if I'm the artist, like if I'm putting myself in Drake's shoes, Michael Jackson's shoes, Taylor Swift's shoes, like I can see the true beef here being with your label who's meant to be like, I'm sure in conversations, they're like, yo, you're the guy, whatever you need, the rollout, blah, blah, blah. We got you. We're going to support you forever. The next deal is going to be amazing. It's going to change the record industry. But then if I find out in the back, you're also doing kind of shady things to hurt my overall legacy or overall bag, I could be like, you know what? It's been a great relationship now, but fuck you. I don't know, man. I feel like there's something there.
I mean, I guess that could still be a possibility, but I feel like it's just oddly convenient and
the timing of it.
I feel like if roles reversed, if Drake had won the beef, like none of this would be taking place.
I was thinking more so like if the Super Bowl wasn't in 2 weeks, this wouldn't be happening right now.
That's what you're suggesting?
Yeah, like I'm saying, is the timing more leaning towards, hey, let's try to make, like, I think 50 Cent alluded to this, or a bunch of people have already, like, let's try to make this very uncomfortable for Apple Music and NFL to want to even play this song during all these allegations happening and a lawsuit currently active and stuff.
Yeah. But I think, like, in general, people are spinning the narrative to suggest that Drake is doing, like, a noble, heroic thing to fix the industry. And while that could hypothetically be the case in some way, shape, or form, I feel like it would have never gone that route so long as he was still winning. So it's hard to have sympathy, even if UMG did, after investigating, did like purposely fuck him over in some way to devalue him or whatever. It seems like that conveniently he's like, all right, well, I'm losing. What do I have to lose now? And I think it at the end of the day, like these guys are businesses, so I understand that, but it kind of reminds me of like if we use Tekashi 6ix9ine like street code, I feel like there's a rap code, and it's like Tekashi 6ix9ine tried to validate it by saying, well, these XYZ person fucked my girlfriend and this person robbed me and this, but at the end of the day, like the code is you're not that doesn't matter. Like you're supposed to just push through. And I feel like with beef, it seems like that's just what you're supposed to do. Like if people die behind the scenes, this and that, like you're just supposed to move forward and that's that. Like you can't sue or whine about it. You just gotta push through. And I feel like there's so many instances of rappers who damn near lost their entire career and they didn't handle it in any other way. Either it was either in the streets or they just kept it moving and like figured out how to cope.
Yeah. So essentially the idea here that you're just to like kind of understand exactly your point of view though, is it more so like he's playing the results too much? Like if he would have won the beef in the eyes of the eyes of the consumer, there's no way you think that he would actually still kind of follow through with the idea of, hey, yeah, I won, but fuck you, UMG, for even doing this to me in the first place, kind of a thing?
Yeah. And if he did win and do that, I think it would look even doper because it's like, oh, not only did he win, but he's admitting that, there's an asterisk next to the W and, we have to fix the industry. But it just looks like he's complaining to the referees at this point. And
yeah. And it's like, I'm not mad at the other team. That's fine. But ref, what the fuck kind of a thing. Yeah, no, I can see that, dude. Maybe playing the results, right? Yeah, I can see that. I know it's a bad look. It's a bad look for so many reasons. Again, I don't know. I'm still in the camp where I'm not losing respect for him, right? I wouldn't go that far. But I would say I'm still very much in the camp of like, I would love for you just to go away for a little bit. So maybe it's Australia. I know he left allegedly a couple of days ago for the tour that just starts right before, the Grammys and all that stuff. But yeah, I'm in the camp where, hey, just go away, man. So like all these legal things won't be in my mind as I'm trying to consume your music, right? Like, again, I screenshotted Blair Family Matters multiple times this weekend because I was listening to it at the gym. But, like, even that at times, I'm just like, oh, I know what happens next. Like it's the beginning of the movie that's fire. But you're like, bro, I know the ending sucks. So, yeah, I get how it's a terrible look. But, I don't know, I'm holding out hope that, one, he'll just shut up and go away for a little bit. And, two, that maybe he genuinely believes that, bro, nah, man, fuck them. I'm doing this for every other major artist. This is not for the small guy. I could give a fuck about whoever tiny rapper I never heard of. This is for the artists who essentially could be bigger than the record label, and the record label doesn't see the value in the artist, like the Tupacs of the world. Again, the Michael Jackson. We know, like when they're so big that the label lose sight of like, bro, you also need me. It's not just about you. I can see where there's a story there, right? Because again, if you look at some of the old videos or interviews and stuff, like there was something here that Michael Jackson felt like he kind of went through the same thing. And whenever he went up against Universal, whoever there was at that time, I think Sony maybe, then a bunch of crazy shit started coming out about him and people started, calling him crazy, right? So I don't know, but there might be something there. I'm not trying to add to conspiracy theories, but I'm holding out hope that this is maybe him saying, you know what? I am going to crash out, but I'm crashing out for the right reason. So we'll see.
And on top of it, like I think the biggest reason why people have changed their opinion on Drake is, again, he's taken on this like pseudo mobster persona. And once you enter that lane, then people expect you to handle disagreements differently.
Stay in that lane. Yeah, stay in that lane.
Especially when you're talking crazy on songs about, these shooters will do whatever and this and that. And then it's like the minute you have a conflict, now we're reading documentation about how you're afraid of, you're fearing for your life, and wop means you're gonna beat my ass, and like all this other crazy shit that just makes him look like a random pop star who's defenseless and hasn't heard a fly. Like that's where the disconnect, I think, is. And if he was Marvin's Room Drake, I think people would be like, come on, like, why are you picking on this dude? But since he's like pumping out his chest and talking crazy, I think people want to like make him feel like a bitch and humble himself, because it seems like he just got too big headed and was like, I dare you to do XYZ. And now that someone kind of did it, now he's running over here, and even if the argument might have some validity to it, you just look crazy because you've already done other wild shit.
Yeah.
Previously.
Yeah, listen. Yeah. Again, I'm not trying to defend it. I was just saying there might be some truth in the the disgust that we all kind of have for him at this moment. But again, time will tell. I think he's gonna go. I mean, again, he's gonna go away to Australia. I don't know what that means. He's gonna go away for a minute. I think he keeps alluding that the Party Next Door album is around the corner. So we'll see. I think the most predictable thing about Drake since May of last year is that he's very unpredictable, right? Because I think everyone leading up to that situation was like, all right, he's going to stop now. And then he wouldn't stop. And then we got 100 gigs and everything just, I don't think he's going to be predictable, bro. So we'll just see what happens. We'll enjoy. And obviously we'll be here to discuss it for ourselves and the viewers. So speaking of the overall beef, though, someone that it seems kind of put themselves not in the middle of it, but like trying to make themselves a part of the conversation. Joey Badass dropped 2 songs recently. Do you remember the name? I know one was Sorry Not Sorry. What was the other one?
Was it The Ruler's Back or something?
The Ruler's Back. Something like that. Yeah, I think it was that. Let me just look it up real quick so we're not. The Ruler's Back. That's what it was. So on The Ruler's Back, I don't think he doesn't name check Kendrick, but he talks about, everybody being on like the West Coast dick in the media. And then on the second song, Sorry Not Sorry, he alludes to J. Cole might delete later, and that's something he would never do. So like, again, nothing too crazy, but I think in the bigger scheme of it, like it felt weird. Like we all love Joey Badass, right? So it was like, why are you even like kind of even talking about this? So like, what were your thoughts on like that whole situation?
Yeah, I respect Joey Badass and his pen game and his discography, but to me it was the why was the question I still
so
like
unclear.
I've yet to answer or have answered by him. I get it. Like every rapper constantly is, striving for the throne or that kind of respect within the game, and he already has a great deal of it. But to me, it was just weird because one, he's like never been part of that big 3 conversation to begin with. And yeah, it just kind of came out of nowhere. And then the magnitude of how serious the Drake Kendrick stuff is just makes everything he's saying kind of seem a little trivial because it's just like straight up bars. Whereas with Drake and Kendrick, they're talking about, oh, you touch kids, you beat your wife, and over here it's like, but my bars are good and I'm repping New York. It's like, what the fuck? Like, how did you get here? It's like 2 grown-ups are talking. Like, stop arguing. Stop talking about your whatever you got going on. Like, youngin, like keep it pushing.
Yeah, man, that's exactly what it feels like. Two adults are having a conversation. Like, why are you here? And even like if the kid in this situation is him, is saying some like sensible things. It's also like, bro, like we're not even trying to have this conversation with you, right? Like it was just odd, bro. Again, I think like you and I spoke about this offline. Like I love that he's even trying to say that, bro, like I'm someone to be reckoned with. But like, dude, like in re-listening to the songs and like the imagery of the videos and like, yeah, bro, like that's why I was even confused why someone from TD even responded to him. It's like, bro, like I wouldn't even pay attention to this, bro. It's just like, bro, who are you talking to? Like, this is just like for like hardcore Joey Badass fans to know that, hey, I might have another run in me. I might drop a 1980s project or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. But the idea of like you talking about these dudes and like, again, bro, as a New Yorker, like, and I know Cole claims, you know, North Carolina and stuff like that, but like, I don't know, bro. He also claims Queens. I feel like there's an understanding in New York that no one really can like talk to J. Cole like that unless you're like Jay-Z or something, So
Mhm.
yeah, that was again. I appreciated the idea of like maybe you're unafraid of these dudes, but weird. It just felt weird.
Yeah. I don't know when it comes to like beef or not even necessarily beef, just like back and forths. Um, it, in this instance, it felt inorganic and forced, and it's kind of like how I feel when Joyner Lucas is like, you know, kindly calling out Tory Lanez and Meek Mill, like, "Hey, I want to battle you." Like, it's dope. I get the friendly competitiveness or whatever, but it just feels like you're being told to engage. And I feel the same way when when you see content and you're like, oh, they're trying to go viral,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it
yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
work
It's like
because it's so like in your face.
Yeah, it's like the
That's how
thumbnail
this feels.
bait. Yeah, the thumbnail baiter. Bro, there was something today on YouTube that was like it was like academics' picture, and it was like the groomer pack and like an arrow pointed to academic, and it had 125,000 views like in 45 minutes. And I was like, no, bro. I'm not even gonna click this because I know what this is, but it's like it felt like that. Like this idea of like, let me just put myself in the conversation. It's like, bro, like you've never been that conversation. You've always been that guy from New York who sounds like the 90s and we fuck with you. But like, that's also a beautiful lane to be in. So I feel like this very much so, if you just like take a step back, you're like, why are you mad? And like, why are you in, like, you can do your own thing and like everyone's going to keep fucking with you. You're like the guy who you have these viral songs that we all remember. You're also a good actor. Like, you clearly make good money. Like, it's like, bro, what are you mad at right now? Like, to insert yourself in this and kind of force us to like give you a negative connotation just also feels weird.
Yeah. And in this day and age, I feel like but people clickbait for a reason with these extreme titles. Because if you do a lukewarm, if you give it a lukewarm presentation, I don't think people are going to react. So with him, like, unless he says something wild, like, I'm going to beat the shit out of your kids, J. Cole, or something, like, no one's really going to listen to this, this week or the week after.
Yeah.
Especially in comparison to what Drake and Kendrick have been doing. So
yeah, but that Sorry Not Sorry had like 1 million views in like 3 days. So imagine, like, I mean, maybe he's like, it's working kind of a thing.
I think it was one, since the first song wasn't some crazy scathing diss, maybe people were intrigued to see if he took it another level.
If he would double down or something.
That's kind of how I felt. I was more excited to watch the second one versus the first. And the footage and the way it was shot and everything, the second one was dope. But again, like, I don't think anyone's going to be talking about this come February, really. So
yeah. Do you think there's any more like, do you think the idea that he had like over a conductor beat also kind of like made it feel a little bit more like real? Because like, again, conductor has like, especially with like J. Cole and Drake has been like so associated with them over the last like 2 years.
Almost like a stamp of approval, like, oh, this is a serious.
Yeah, like, yeah, you know what? I'll let you, do this over my beat because I know those guys. And you know what? Yeah, it kind of like, that's the only part where I was like, is there something here? Again, the bars were nothing scathing or terrible, so like it never got to that point. But the fact that it was over 2 conductor beats, I felt like that was almost like a stamp of approval, like without us asking for it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, like, that's how I felt. And I wasn't even familiar with Conductor before all this stuff with Drake and Joey Badass and everything. So, but regardless, yeah, I definitely took it a bit more seriously. But again, I don't see it being enough to where if I'm like J. Cole or whoever on vacation enjoying myself, to be like, oh my God, gotta go in the booth because like his fans are just killing me on Twitter or something. Like you said, I wouldn't personally respond to any of this unless I just had all this idle time.
Yeah, I think you have to go the Jay-Z 50 Cent route if you respond to this. And like for all our audience who's way too young to even know that that reference. So like Jay-Z's famous line when 50 Cent dropped How to Rob, Jay-Z responded with a line in one song called I'm about $1, what the fuck is 50 Cent? Like it has to be like the most like dismissive bar where you're like, bro, I'm not giving you anything, bro. Like I'm not even gonna, like we're not even gonna go there. So I think that's the only way J. Cole should respond. But I can't see Kendrick or anybody. Again, I don't even know why that guy from TDE responded. I know it's not like one of the main rappers from TDE or whatever, but yeah, that felt like, yo, what are you doing?
Yeah. But
to be fair, I think Joey Badass is also bigger than that guy from TDE, right? Like as far as like appeal?
Yeah, I think Joey Badass of the people that responded is the biggest, but I feel like that kind of proves the point of no one he wants to grab the attention of seems to be giving him the time of day.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah, I mean, dude, Kendrick has way bigger things right now. So cool. Well, again, let us know what your thoughts were on those two Joey Badass tracks, right? I wouldn't even call it diss tracks, but those two tracks, and let us know if we're way off on not putting him in that realm. So before we move on to Super Bowl, because we'll give some predictions about the rollout and all that stuff, we did have a couple some new music drops. So let's get into some of the reviews. Did you have a chance to listen to the entire Central C album? I think the album title was Can't Force Greatness.
Yeah, I did. Overall, I would say it was pretty good. I think exactly what I would have expected from Central C. When I do say that, I think it's a combination of good and bad. I'll start with the bad. I guess what I mean by that is his flow and beat selection can be pretty repetitive.
And
predictable as well. So there's not a whole lot of range. I would say it's kind of similar to how I feel about Lil Baby. And for that reason, I feel like I can only handle so much of his music in one sitting. But on the flip side, I think he does genuinely have really good bars that stand out to me. And he seems to, I don't know, manage his pocket very well. Like whatever that drill UK grime type sound that he's always been sticking to seems to do well. I wish there was a bit more variety in the features, but overall he seems like one of the more promising and standout UK rappers that we've had in a minute. That seems to be resonating pretty well over in the US.
Yeah, dude, I think I love the title name. It's a little like, acknowledgement of that dude. He's been on the scene now for what, almost 2.5, 3 years. If you think about like that Doja Cat moment, and then the fact that now we're getting an album, like I love that, right? Because we only see him on like features, or he'll drop a small project with Dave, and everyone goes crazy about that. So I love that he took his time with this. I get what you're saying, because I feel the same way. I felt the same way going through the album. It felt like, I know what to expect here, but I'm fine with repetition if it's to the point that I'm not at a stage where I'm tired of it yet. Or like he's still like a newcomer, especially to Americans, right? So I feel like for our ears, we're not like sick and tired of this, right? Like I know he had a Baby feature, a Lil Durk feature, but as far as him himself, like we don't really hear Central C on everyone's shit, right? So it's not like we're all so sick of his flow. So yeah. I was fine with like, all right, I know what the next songs are going to be. I do think his lyrical play has improved drastically since when we first, came across him a couple of years ago. And I did pick up on something that he was doing on multiple songs, that whole like the Drake thing, where like the lyric that's coming, but he won't say it. But then like the next line like confirms like what you were thinking is what he was gonna say. Like, bro, I don't know if that's just like so simple. Like, I love it, but like there's like a Spanish thing that he like is like, you drive me so crazy. Should I talk to you in a? And then he doesn't say it, but then he starts speaking Spanish. I'm like, bro, yes, I do it, bro. Like I'm a genius. So like shit like that, like I appreciate. And like the features, again, like the Dave feature on CRG was amazing. For him to have Young Miko was fire. The 21 Savage one is great. So yeah, man, like I just like good for him for like, I don't even want to, we'll give it a rating of like a B+ or a B or whatever. But I don't know, this is like almost like good for you for like your first album considering where we discovered you was this, that we're saying it's good and cohesive and makes sense for you. Whereas like, bro, I don't want to speak for you or the pod, but when I heard that, you know, Doja Cat TikTok viral thing, I was like, all right, bro, this is going to be done in like a week, bro. Like, we'll move on from this guy. There's no way he's serious. And the fact that he actually has bars, he seems serious, like he seems to actually like enjoy his craft. Like, I think this overall experience of like taking him into like hip hop culture on this side of the pond has been a pretty like massive success.
Yeah, no, I think of all the artists I can think of who've rose to fame or stardom in the past few years. He's definitely a story that I can genuinely support. Just like you, I thought when I heard that Doja reference song or whatever on TikTok, not only did I hate the song, but I was like, whoever's doing this is definitely not going to be famous for more than like a year tops. And then on top of that, I thought that it would be like the TikTok curse where like that's the only song that people would want to hear. But that song, he seems to have completely removed himself from that track, because I don't even think of that song when I see him, you know, doing whatever.
No, bro. It's like other people reference that track with like, how can I be homophobic? Like, you know, like other people say it and it's not him anymore. So like, yeah, no, I totally agree. Like that thing is like something of the past. So for you to be, again, in this world where like, we're like, what's next? And that came out 3 years ago. And now you're dropping your album and we've still been pretty engaged with you. Dude, good for him, man. Again, being a success, and when it comes to his overall career thus far, it seems genuine, as opposed to like, again, he might end up being an industry plant, bro, you know, for everything that's happening now. But right now, it feels genuine. It feels like the UK fucks with him in a big way too. It's like the fact that he has that cosign and then we're co-signing him, like, yeah, man, it just feels like right. And I'm happy for him to have this moment where I think more people are taking him seriously as opposed to this TikTok rapper from 2022.
Yeah. I'm really curious to know like what his actual fan base is, because I don't know, I just get the sense that generally speaking, people feel a type of way about UK rap and artists and the accent and everything. And I get he aligns himself with like Drake and 21 Savage and all these guys, but I'm still having a hard time dictating how popular he is here versus everywhere else in Europe or wherever.
In the sense, like, do you think like you're asking like almost out loud, like you're trying to question or figure out if he has like a core fan base here, or is it just like the casual hip hop listener who's like, oh, well, if you fuck with them, then I'll fuck with you too?
Yeah, latter. Like, okay, I like 21 Savage and
yeah.
The song's pretty cool, but I'm not gonna go pay $200 to see you in an arena, like that sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's at the point yet where he's gonna do like a US tour. Right? Like I don't, because I think, yeah, you're right. We'll see what the numbers say after this first week. But yeah, I don't think he's in a place yet to do a US tour. But I can see if like he's opening up for the next 21 Savage tour. Yeah, bro, like fuck it. Like if I had doubts about just paying for 21, Central C, I'll pay the full $200 for both of them.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like what he's missing, it seems like there's no like never really a standout single or hook when I listen to his music. Like it's definitely stuff that is replayable in a lot of ways, but I never hear anything from him to where I'm like, oh, that's the one. Like he switched up his flow or tone for the hook and this and that. Like it feels like very monotonous throughout the music.
I think he's at this stage because of the transplant part of this, like him coming from another country. I think he's still at the stage where he's just proving to listeners, hey, I can make good music. And then hopefully the next stage is, hey, like here's the depths of the struggle or the women trouble or whatever, right? Because I feel like on this, like you just had like one version of it, right? Even when he had like the love song or whatever, like it's like a version of it, but it's never too in depth where like you have to like overthink. I think this is still like the most like simplistic version of his overall approach, just because again, to garner that appeal I feel like you don't want to do too much.
Yeah, that makes
sense. Remember, this is his first album overall, so I feel like also like he's also still getting comfortable like to the UK audience too, right? It's not like this is his first American album, and like this is his first album in general. So I feel like this was just like, yo, listen, like let me prove to you guys I can put an album out and it's gonna be good, and then hopefully the future stuff is like give some depth to it. So what would you rate the album though if you had to give it a score?
A score, a letter grade.
Yeah, letter grade. Like I gave it like a B plus, maybe like a B.
I would say like B minus.
Yeah, just like better than average.
Better than average, and dinged for just not really
for having Lil Durk and Lil Baby on it.
Yeah, that too. That should piss me off. That and then just not having. There was like no very standout, like memorable moments that I said to myself, I want to come back to this album purely because of he did this, this, and this.
Yeah. For me, the only memorable moment, and I think because I loved his joint little EP with Dave, was that song with Dave. Because that maybe I got like nostalgia of that album, and I was like, oh, bro, like if we get more of this. So, yeah. But I hear what you're saying though. There wasn't that many songs. Like even the GRP song with 21 Savage is good, but it's not like, yo, run that song back a million times. So, but yeah, a still very good rating. Let us know what you guys think about Central C's new project. Cannot Rush Greatness or Can't Rush Greatness. Balloonerism, I think is the name of the title. Yes, Balloonerism, Mac Miller. I'm assuming his final project that his family's going to release. Unreleased tracks. It was officially 14 songs. It was an hour long. What were your thoughts on the project?
It was a tough listen for a couple reasons. One, I feel like you have to be in the mindset to digest certain albums. And this one, I don't know if I was necessarily prepared for it or knew exactly what to expect. I think, posthumous albums are tricky depending on the tone of it. And
very tricky, bro. Yeah, think about all the Juice WRLD, like the Tupac's albums, like just afterward, like Pop Smoke. Like there's this thing of like, the over. I didn't mean to cut you off, sorry, but like when you put it out there, I was like the overwhelming feeling at times with like I'm not gonna go into this one just yet, but with those albums, it's like, man, like you're giving us stuff where that the artist chose not to put out when they were here. So like we're essentially getting like either throwaways or things that they're still in the process of creating, right? So like that's always in the back of my head is like, yo, you're trying to convince me to love a song that they didn't even really fuck with.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I think it was less about the ethics and more so like, I don't know if you passed away because you were going through some shit, I don't know if I necessarily want to hear that kind of story or angle just like endlessly.
Yeah, because there was a lot of kind of references to like death and like sadness on this one, like in a heavy way.
Right. And a lot of people, including myself, are like, oh, you can really hear like the pain and what he's going through and this and that. And I'm like, do I want to like feel that again? And don't get me wrong, it's very creative and great, but I think it felt like something that was meant to be almost like observed and analyzed with intent rather than like, oh, I'm going to listen to this thing and enjoy it and like want to replay it and appreciate the art. It felt like, hey guys, like we found a letter in the drawer that he left for us. Yeah. Let's go read it. Like that's kind of what it felt like. Again, great music. I just I don't know. It's not like the last final memory I necessarily want to have of like an artist I respect.
I agree. Yeah, dude, I agree with you completely. So again, and obviously, you know, and everyone who's been listening is from the jump. So I appreciate to you guys. Like, I obviously huge Mac Miller fan. Blair and I have spoken about this. Mac Miller's in my top five. So like top five. So the way I dissect these projects is maybe a little bit more scrutiny. because again, I've been listening to so much Mac Miller over the years. Like Mac Miller is still like a top 4 artist in like my yearly recaps, like every year. So my issue with this album is that they tried to make the production similar to his last 2 projects, which were Circles and Swimming. So even though Circles came out after his passing, like 2 years after his passing, the majority of that project was done in cohesion with Swimming. So it was like a part 2, right? Swimming and Circles. So you could hear the elevation or change in his approach when it came to rap music, right? Like he wasn't really rapping anymore. It was more singing, right? It was more melodic. Whereas with this album feels like this is like 3 years prior to him passing on the album, like watching movies while in silent, that project. Oh, sorry, watching movies with the sound off. Like it sounded like that project where it was like very dark, very like, you know, I'm thinking about death. Death is around the corner. I'm afraid of death, right? But like it was still with like the production quality of like Circles and Swimming. And you can tell that because he passed, they didn't really have a lot of lyrics or, you know, to work with. That also the production was over the top, bro. Like some of the songs are like 5 minutes long and it's like mainly just the instrumentals, which again is beautiful, right? Which I think the short story animation on Prime actually works. And like if you're high, I'm assuming it's going to be like a great vibe. Like I'm looking forward to that for myself. But I think as just like an auditory album that you're listening to in your AirPods in your car, man, it's a tough listen, man, because like it doesn't feel cohesive. It feels like the family and whoever was trying to like keep the extension of like Swimming in Circles, but like the content, the lyrics aren't the same. And I feel like that was like, bro, I was at the gym and I'm like, bro, this doesn't gel together at all to me. Like it just feels, and it adds even like I feel like a even larger layer of darkness to it because like the lyrics are so harsh at times and the production is beautiful. So it's almost like you're embracing the darkness because the production quality is so well done.
Yeah. And I know like for some people it might be comforting, like just to know that someone out there went through similar shit. And I know a lot of people would say that, oh, Mac Miller saved my life or what have you, which is amazing for any artist to be able to
have that impact. Yeah.
But I think if we're just thinking like pure musically, it kind of felt like an accumulation of like leftover audio notes here and there. And it's just not my, I guess, cup of tea. I generally prefer to hear more upbeat music, and it's not necessarily that the content has to be just some happy-go-lucky shit, because Mac Miller was never really like that, except for maybe like the first album or two. But I think he did a good job in what was it, Swimming?
Swimming, yeah, that was the one that he got nominated for album of the year.
Yeah,
or rap album
like
of
I
the
feel
year.
like that had a lot of kind of dark, like woe is me type elements, but it was a balanced. I think the production and everything was cohesive and like self-care, like all that stuff to me is the correct way to balance the darkness with like, I guess, a light at the end of the tunnel.
I agree, dude. But again, remember that Swimming, again, that was the year he passed away though, man. So he was already 26, right? So I feel like a lot of these songs are him at 22, 23, just like still truly trying to figure it out, bro. So when you're trying to figure it out, you can't verbalize your thoughts very clearly. So like the rawest version of it comes out, right? And I think that's what this album is. And like, whereas like on Swimming and the majority of Circles, like it's him at 26, 25, where like you kind of have a breakthrough in life, man. And you kind of know how to verbalize your thoughts without fucking like being so shocking. So yeah, not to get too like, analytical on that one, but I just feel like as like a true Mac Miller fan, like even like my boy Sam, which Blair, like he loved it. And I was like, you do? Bro, because like as like a fucking, Mac Miller hardo, I was just like, man, that did nothing for me, bro. Or I just wish, I just hate that, like, again, I think there's like a sadness where like, damn, bro, I just know like I get the idea behind this to put this out to help the fan base like cope or have something, but like, it wouldn't, if he was here, it wouldn't go down like this. And I think that
Right.
is kind of like what was playing through my mind when I was listening to it.
Yeah, that's like my internal conflict. It's the same thing when a rapper dies and people call him a legend immediately. It's like I get wanting to pay homage and just being grateful for what we have to consume as far as music goes and their legacy and all that. But I just tried my best and I'm like, it's not for me. But I see a lot of fans like clearly just happy that he released something. And obviously if you're a huge fan, he's gonna be on a pedestal to a lot of the bullshit that's out today, which is another really low bar. I feel like, yeah, the fact that he's gone and there's not really any new music we can get from him, obviously.
Yeah.
Of course, you're gonna, I don't know what the psychological term would be, but you're gonna convince yourself that, maybe it is better than it actually would be if you were still here.
Yeah, I see that. But again, rest in peace to him. If you haven't checked it out, check it out. And also, there's a 26-minute short, which combines the music on this album and some like pretty cool animation. So that's available on Prime everywhere. So before we get out of here, before we get into Heat of the Week, probably when this drops, it's going to be Super Bowl week. So Super Bowl performance predictions by Kendrick. What are like the top 5 songs you think he's going to play? Let's go with what song you think he's going to start with first. I think he's going to start with, start with, what's that song called? His biggest song off Good Kid, Mad City?
What
was it, Freestyle? Paris Freestyle, or what's it called?
You're talking about either Backstreet Freestyle or you're talking about Mad City?
Martin Had a Dream? Yeah, I think he's gonna start with that, bro. I think he's gonna start like off the jump with that. What do you say?
I'll say N95.
Why? So why that one? Because I feel like that one's more of like not a universally hit. If you think about like hits for Kendrick,
I think I would say maybe my rationale is like for environments like this, saving like the major hits, like the A-tier hits for like the middle to last. And I think it's just a high energy song that he could do something really cool with. And it's not like really early Kendrick's, so we've heard it a billion times, and it's also not so recent to where it's like, all right, we've also heard it a million times. I think it'd be somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, that's crazy because you're right. N95 is a really good song, but I feel like that album overall, just like it was so overwhelming that I feel like I've never been able to like gracefully like age with that album, right? Like
I
to
think
me,
that's
it's
like
just
the only song though.
No, there's like a couple more, bro. There's a couple more. I'll listen to it at the gym tomorrow, just like send it to you on the side. But I feel like there's a couple more songs that we fucked with at the time, and then like, yeah. But it's just for me, the album hasn't aged well, personally. But N95, okay. Well, what would you say? It will be another song that he kind of like sprinkles in that we maybe not be expecting.
Not being unexpected, like an unexpected one.
Yeah.
Damn. I would say Rich Spirit.
Another song from that album.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, bro. See? That song had a few fucking bangers. The album had a few bangers. Okay. Man, I think, didn't he do Goosebumps at the last one?
I don't think so.
No?
I know it's Be All Right for sure.
Be All Right. I feel like you said, so do you think he does it again? Can you do the same song twice within like 3 years?
Yeah, I feel like it's almost like too obvious for him to do it, and it's also like political and shit. I just feel like it's like, why do it twice?
Yeah, I don't think he does that song. I think he does. What song, bro? I think he definitely does "Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe."
Think so?
I think he does that. And then I would say, since we already have confirmation that SZA is going to be there, I do think they do some melody of like Luther and 30 for 30. Or is that too recent?
I think 30 for 30 is too recent for most people to care. And Luther
is also pretty recent, bro. It's a month and a half ago.
I feel like what is that song? Stars, the Black Panther track.
That might be a better one. That might be a better one. But I think we're gonna have I feel like they end up doing like a couple of songs together, and like some melody way where it kind of just easily transitions to the next one. So maybe it'll be the Stars, that one, and then I think Luther gets done because that's also like a viral hit on like every single social media platform.
True. Yeah, I hope they do Luther because that song's dope.
All right. So what other songs another song that may not be the most obvious that you think he does? Poetic Justice and brings out Drake to end the beat.
I was thinking about that the other day. How insane that would be.
How insane! Yo, he just pulls up, bro. Like,
I don't think I would trust anything in my life that anyone tells me after that.
No, bro. I will fucking crash out on hip hop, bro. Like, I'm done.
Just switch the country.
Podcast over. Episode 202 is us crashing out, bro. It's over.
Unexpected. The thing is, like, when you think about it, a lot of his music, so much of it is expected. But another unexpected one, I guess I could say, maybe King Kunta. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I feel like that one.
No, go ahead.
The one with Future. I forget.
Like
King's
that?
Dead. King's Dead.
Oh, King's Dead is great, bro. And now it has so many different, like, you know, and now like you can use that in so many different ways now. So yeah. King's Dead is a good one. Yeah, but dude, he has so many fucking songs, bro. What's crazy going through it, I do think there's a situation where he plays Count Me Out.
I was thinking that too.
That's 3 different songs in that fucking album.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mr. Morale, I would say if any cut from that we could argue would be unexpected because people keep saying it's not meant for that kind of environment.
Yeah, but I think there's a way, because similar, ever seen that video where Louis Vuitton got him to come to Paris and he was like performing the song while sitting down, and like during like the runway, like models are going up and down and he's like literally, oh dude. So like that song is very much like, I can see it being a moment where like the show pauses, like for Count Me Out, the song pauses like as like almost like a slowdown and like an aggressive like build me up, bro. And like maybe the build me up is like them going into like TV off, you know, like because TV off is going to be a part of this, bro. There's no fucking way that every single brand in America's co-signed that fucking song, you know, and he doesn't perform it. So I guess the biggest question then for us is, does he perform like that and not like us?
I think he like that. I'm not sure, just because I don't know. I feel like we're so far removed from that song, and part of it is
but his verse on that is fucking
the verse on
his verse is crazy though.
I mean, it could amp up the crowd, but I feel like he would prefer to do his iconic, more recent disses if I had to guess. I would bet against like that, basically.
Fair. No, dude. Like the logic you're spitting is checks out. No, I get that. It's just like, bro, because I've heard a couple recent DJs like use his like that verse with like other beats, and I'm like, bro, even like on other instrumentals, this shit still fucking slaps, bro. Like, you know, so that's why I'm like, man, maybe. But you're right though. Like I think the smart money is on that he doesn't do that song. So I think he's gonna perform Not Like Us. Are you leaning that way too?
Yes.
No question, or are you like 50-50? Because I still think there's like, I'm like leaning 60-40, that it's still like a close chance that someone in the NFL or someone's like, bro, like you could perform like the beat, but you better not say anything about what we, you know, all that stuff.
If for me personally, I would say I'm 90% confident he's going to do some sort of rendition of it. If you're willing to define that as performing it, I think everyone's pretty certain he's not going to say Drake's name. He's not going to call him a PDF. From what I understand, Kendrick doesn't isn't that like obsessed with Drake and making it about him as people would like to think. But at the same time, the song's like an undeniable hit. So, and perfect for like a marching band type remix
Setting.
of it.
Yeah.
So I could see that happening. 10 seconds, the verse. I mean, sorry, the hook. Maybe not even a verse. Maybe just like
I don't think a verse. I don't think we get a verse. I don't think we get a verse. I think we get the beat. I think we get moments in the beat where everyone knows the lyrics.
Yeah.
So like maybe at home or in the audience, you're like singing along, but like no one's singing it on stage. And then he gives you the hook and then it goes into something else.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like it's everyone else can sing it.
Everyone else can sing it, and then you can't get mad at him, and then you can't sue him. So we know SZA is performing. What other surprise do you expect to see on stage in New Orleans in 2 weeks?
I mean, besides SZA, it seems like Kendrick's been on this like West Coast appreciation wave where with the pop-out show in GNX, he's including so many faces. It would seem odd if he didn't have someone from that realm on stage with him. The Super Bowl,
bro, this is a big ass stage, bro. Like, they barely wanted to put 50 Cent on that stage. Like, it's gonna be hard for him to fucking just be pulling fucking LA rappers that no one knows and just have them on stage.
Well, that's why I don't think it's gonna be like, you know, D-list rapper from Compton, come on and
like
do your
Schoolboy Q.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be like either TDE, like Schoolboy Q, J-Rock, those guys for like Money Trees.
He can do the J-Rock song. What's that famous J-Rock song? Like the most famous J-Rock. Is it Money Trees?
Yeah. Where he had the verse.
Is it though? But like no. But J-Rock's most famous song, like his
All My Life.
Is it All My
With
Life?
Lil
No,
Wayne?
dude. No, the one that's like Win. I feel like he can do
Win. Yeah.
The idea of like at a Super Bowl that makes sense because Kendrick's
like
also
trumpet songs.
Yeah, but like Kendrick is also like on the hook on that song, right? Like or some aspect of that song, right? So I think that might make sense. Like, but even that, bro, because like Kendrick is so like immersed in that song, but like I can't do like below Schoolboy Q's level. I can't see any rapper below that level like on that stage.
That's why, like with the Tyler the Creator rumors, I think the reasoning for the rumors were pretty dumb because in the trailer you see like a marching band going by, but I'm like that every fucking performer has a marching band.
Yeah, that doesn't do
Super
anything.
Bowl. But
New Orleans, like New Orleans is known for their marching bands and all that shit. Like
exactly. So I think it's wishful thinking, but at the same time, I think that one song from Chromacopia, Saint Chroma, is actually a really good Super Bowl. Would sound really good. But that
again,
it can't be that
even
that's it.
But Chromacopia is like so specific, bro. Like I don't even think like if Tyler's on that stage, he's not doing one Chromacopia song.
No,
it's songs that we fucking know, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like if you're like the guest of the guest, you gotta be coming with like shit that everyone knows, not this like, yo, this shit got 1,000 listens on fucking SoundCloud. You know, like we need like the hits, dude. So,
but do you think Kendrick will be on his like unapologetically like, this is my time to shine, and I don't care if Tyler or whoever, J-Rock doesn't have a million hits that's presentable for this audience and stage. I'm just gonna pull my strings and put the West Coast on for these 10
maybe. I mean, it's like a 20-minute set, but like, I don't know, man, maybe. But I feel like he already did that with the pop out, bro. I feel like at some point you also like need to like show out yourself, right? Like, and not hide, bro. I'm not trying to be dismissive. Like, dude, he deserves this stage more than anyone. But I'm just saying, like, it should be about you, right? And I think like him going out of his way with the Apple teaser to have SZA, like that makes sense because like, bro, like when you think of Kendrick recently, you think of her as well, right? So that makes sense. But I don't see like, yo, you're just having Roddy Ricch come out for like a 10-second, you know, like. But bro, what I am thinking, and I want to give my boy shout out Carlos from New York, dude. He played this seed in my head, bro. I think he brings out Juvenile and Manny Fresh. as like a New Orleans like homage moment, and because I don't think they fuck with Wayne anymore. So like I think it's still like a respect nod to Cash Money, but like not giving in and not letting Wayne be on that stage. So
yeah,
I can see like a
win-win
juvenile
situation.
yeah, like yeah, he did his thing. He looks dope, and Drake's people, hey Drake, you fuck with Drake, so you can't be on the stage. Yeah. So I can see Manny Fresh having a moment maybe with Mustard, and they're fucking dropping crazy beats back to back for a moment.
That thing up.
Bro, you know what I'm saying? Like there could be a whole moment. So that'd be cool. Because it would have to be, if you're gonna give a New Orleans artist shine, it's gonna have to be like, again, respect to Master P, bro, but no one wants to hear fucking whatever Silk the Shocker banger they had from like 96. You know, like they like when you think New Orleans rap, you think Cash Money, bro.
Yeah. All I know is like I fully trust Kendrick to make
it's gonna be a good show
moment. It's not gonna be some bullshit. Let me try to just get whoever's popping right now on the stage or something.
Agreed. I think it's going to be a great show. And I think my initial reaction to when he was announced was, I'm skipping the Super Bowl this year, but I'm going to watch it. And I'm not going to just watch it for the pod. I'm going to watch it because I genuinely think it's going to be very enjoyable. So, man. And I do. The funny thing is I think a reason why, besides him being a great artist, I think even like diehard Drake stans are like, you know what, bro? I need a break of him too. You know what I mean? Like it's almost like if you said something wild about Drake right now, I like if I'm listening to Kendrick, I'd be like, makes sense. You know, like it wouldn't even be like, nah, fuck you, bro. It's like I understand right now. Let's I'm just here to be entertained, bro. Don't worry about where my allegiance lies. Like, just entertain me. This is like the job of the person in that role right now.
Yep. Agreed.
Cool. So Kendrick Lamar. So again, you're a betting man. You're saying that he's gonna start the show off with N95.
Yep.
All right. So I'm saying Backstreet Freestyle is what he starts with.
Backseat Freestyle.
Backseat freestyle. Yeah, he starts with that. So we'll see. Nice little wager. I'll send you the Venmo requests when I'm right. All right. Heat of the week, episode 201. What was your heat of the week, bro, these past 2 weeks?
So coincidentally, this is a West Coast track. Are you familiar with Lefty Gunplay from the TV Off? Spooky Hilarious.
I maybe heard like one more song or two songs prior to this. Honestly, I think you told me about another one that he was maybe featured on.
Okay, yeah, he's a Mexican rapper from the West Coast, LA area. He, to be honest, like I'll say he's not the most seasoned rapper, which is why I think people are saying he only got like 4 words on the Kendrick album, even though he was buzzing. He's really popular for his personality because he's pretty funny and faded half the time. But he finally released a song. I think Jason Martin, formerly known as Problem, a lot of the West Coast rappers in the music industry seem to be mentoring him, like the guys that actually have experience and good track record. And he released the song like a week ago, and you can tell that whoever's mentoring him is like on some like Eazy-E shit. They're showing him how to stay on beat. They're producing the right songs for him, like teaching him how to do a fucking hook. And this is the first time I heard a song from him where I'm like, oh, I could actually replay this. And the song is called Can't Get Right. And it's dope because in the hook, Problem, aka Jason Martin, is shouting in the back, and he's like, why do they call you Lefty? And he responds, because I can't get right. And I don't know, it's just like a dope West Coast track. It definitely might be an acquired taste for some people, especially with how music has been the past decade. But I think the beat's absolutely fire. The hooks and verses aren't that bad either. So peep it. Let me know what you think. Probably a good track for the gym. But yeah, Can't Get Right by Lefty Gunplay.
Nice, dude. I'll check that out, dude. I like that a lot. Dude, for me, I think maybe it's the excitement for this Party Next Door project, and then I saw something online that this song officially has 1 billion streams. It's Break from Toronto, from his 2013 body of work, the first Party Next Door album. So I think that's Miguel on the hook, right?
Yes.
Pretty sure. I feel confident about that. There's no official feature here, so I can't confirm. But yeah, Party Next Door, Break from Toronto. Again, if that's any, that is Miguel, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So if this is any, like, if whatever high hopes we do have for whatever this project is with Drake, if it's any version of this party, I feel like we're gonna get a great body of work. Again, mind you, this song came out 12 years ago, so a lot has changed. But I think Party Next Door, again, his album dropped right in the midst of the fucking beef, and he had a couple name checks that I think just killed his rollout. So I think he, as an artist, deserves a moment. So if it comes at, the benefit of Drake, hopping on that wave or whatever, we'll see. But again, I hope he has this moment, bro, because I feel like he's always been this well-respected artist, but like has never had a time to truly shine himself. And I think Break from Toronto is a great example of like what he's capable of. So that's my heat of the week. But again, it's more like an excitement for hopefully whenever we get this album by then, it's actually, something that we are listening to over and over again for years.
I dig it. I definitely loved a few of his tracks from back in the day. For me, he's kind of like The Weeknd, to where I'm always like dismissive of their projects as a whole, but I always find like 3 or 4 songs that I just can't stop playing. Mm-hmm. So I'm confident I'll find something good from this upcoming album. But yeah, he was definitely one of those. I feel like he was discussed in the same realm as like The Weeknd's and Frank Ocean's and all these guys, kind of like the mysterious fucking my heart's always broken or I'm always breaking hearts type of dude. And then something happened within the industry. I'm sure some like relationship bullshit between different parties just seemingly kept him from achieving the stardom we expected him to get.
Yeah, but I feel like there's also, and I could be wrong, maybe like you may know or something, but I feel like there's also that thing for like the known ghostwriters that they make so much money writing for other people that like they're like, bro, I could just keep doing this, right? Because you even sense that. Again, I'm not trying to be like judgmental of his appearance, but again, I feel like when you're in the limelight, that comes with it, right? Like, bro, like he got aggressively fat at one point recently, so I'm like, bro, like you're literally eating good off these like writers checks and like loving life, bro. So like I think there's also something to that where like hopefully this could be the moment where like you kind of get your artistic bag as the main artist, back in place. And again, it's going to be hard because again, his name came up multiple times in the beef, and then the album kind of didn't do anything. So I hope this is like a, one more attempt at that for him, because I feel like he's an artist who deserves that.
Yeah. Yeah. It must be difficult writing songs and then seeing like Rihanna and Drake with the work and seeing these songs get that much respect, and then people kind of treat you like a nobody in certain circles.
Yeah, I feel like that's like what The Dream goes through.
Yeah, The Dream and all these people. And I think to us, it seems crazy because it's like, wouldn't you be happy enough having fucking 15 million in the bank and not being bothered at the grocery store as much as these guys and stuff? But I guess it's all relative depending on who you're hanging out with, because they're not, The Dream's not hanging out with people like you and I. He's hanging out with
facts,
fucking the Drakes and shit, looking at them like, how come they have 100 fans?
Yeah,
trying to get.
And I wrote half your shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, for sure, bro. Because I know The Dream. Again, we made a joke about this recently because unfortunately The Dream had some crazy shit happen in the news. But like, bro, like I think some of that craziness has to be where like, bro, I wrote all these people's hits, and why am I not the star? Right? Yeah. Like, and even Neo, bro. I think Neo has some of that, bro. Like, well, at least again, Neo probably ended up comparing the three of them, had a bigger career as the guy. But I feel like he only wanted to have a career as the guy because he's like, bro, if I'm writing everyone's shit, why can't I be the guy? You know? So
right.
But yeah, so hopefully Party Next Door has his moment as the guy alongside Drake, and that can just help the overall OVO brand. Bro, because I told Blair this, I'll tell the audience. So I listen to OVO radio religiously every weekend. They have a great station, but they have a weekly DJ session for like 3 hours, bro. It's called the Fry Guy Show. It's OVO Mark, OVO Noel. I think Noel helps produce a lot of songs for Drake as well, bro. But like, there's moments on the episode like where they're speaking like almost like a podcast. It's just a DJ set, but like they take breaks and talk, blah blah blah. Bro, you can hear the defeat in their voice, where it's like they're trying to like up like all the things they have going on. They're talking about the Australia trip coming up, but dude, either they're hungover, maybe because like it is a drinking show. But bro, like you can just hear the defeat in that OVO camp. We're like, all right, bro, we're riding with this shit till the end, but I kind of hope we can win soon again, bro, because like it just feels like everything associated with that brand is just like not it right now, bro, like at all. And again, there's other people, like obviously like you probably had a great lifestyle because of like the guy, so you're grateful, obviously. But then in present day, you're also like, damn, bro, this nigga's kind of fucking without money, like.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it must be tough. And I don't know why, like, the simple advice of just go the fuck away seemingly seems to be the hardest thing for Drake to do. And I don't know if it's a pride thing or if there's a whole another reason we're unaware of, but it seems like that could have dampened the blow tremendously if you just did that and returned in the summer of this year or something with like an undeniable, her loss style thing. And it was just dope, undeniably. But it seems like it's just driving more of the news. Like every fucking podcast we have, it seems like Drake did something and we have to talk about it. Like it's not Kendrick tweeting or anything. It's always Drake did this, Drake alluded to this, Drake told academics that. And it's like,
yeah, that was, I don't know if you saw that. So Duval had a tweet where it's like, you know how crazy it is that Kendrick Lamar hasn't been on one podcast, hasn't said one thing. He just performs his songs, drops an album, does Super Bowl, and says nothing and is the king right now. Like, that's the crazy thing about this, bro. Because you really, I know he had the interview on GQ or whatever, but like, not really. Like it's not him just having like a tell-all with his favorite co-host or whatever and just saying, yeah, I fucking hate this guy for this reason, blah, 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 blah. Like, here's the music. You guys decide for whatever the fuck you want. See me February 7th, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's crazy, bro.
Yep. Yes. Something else.
Let the music do the talking, bro. But great episode, my guy. Before we get out of here, let the people know where they can find us and what we got going on.
Yeah, sir. Catch us at audio-theory.com. New episode every week on all platforms. If you're on YouTube, check down below. We have merch. If you're on the site, the link is there as well. We also have the Spotify and Apple Music Heat of the Week playlist links on the site. Otherwise, if you don't copy anything or tune into the playlist, please like, share, subscribe, comment, do what you can to support the channel.
Do what you can. Just look out for some new approaches to our content. We're meeting with our digital team to see if we can change some things up for you. So enjoy. Definitely trying to get to higher levels this year. But love you, my guy. We'll talk soon.
Love you too.
Peace.
Peace.